Just some shenanigans getting an engine out of a truck for another truck.
Because the original motor was no good for the motor, or for the truck.
Now, if that ain't redneck. Spring is pretty much here and it's almost time to go racing. So we need to hemi swap the Dakota. I have not done a hemi swap into anything yet, so this is going to be my first go at it. So I'm going to try and document this one a little bit. It's an 87 Dakota with a 3.9, 5-speed. It's an 06 5.7 Hemi. I've got an NV 3500 to go in. I'm going to try and do it. May 1st is the first street legals race at our local track, so I'm going to try and get it ready to go by then. So it'll be quick and dirty. Should be fun. So let's get into it, tear it apart, and start the swap. We're going to start by ripping the front end off. I am going to do the 91 and newer rad support and grill and stuff just for the added space for the bigger motor and eventually an intercooler and stuff like that. So I'm going to just strip the whole front end off, pull the motor, and then start building mounts. Holley makes mounts, but apparently they're out of stock. It's even just hard to find the right bushing sizes, so see what I can come up with in a short amount of time. Maybe the truck will wheelie like that. Not likely. So the engine's ready to come out. We're going to rip this thing out, clean everything up. I'm going to paint the frame, and I think I'm going to paint the cab, hopefully before before May 1st. So sounds pretty ambitious, but we'll try it. Well, there's a change of plans on the Dakota. Make sure you change your oil. I don't even know how it gets that bad, but this Hemi is toast. It locked the camshaft up and broke the dowel pin off. So she was just spinning. So Dakota's getting the 6-1. That'll be fun. Well, time to prep the 6-1 to go in the Dakota. This came out of an automatic Challenger. So there's a bushing in the crank to where the pilot bushing has to go, the clutch, the input shaft pilot bushing. So that's going to come out. So what I'm going to do is going to tack a nut in there and then use a bolt to just press it out because they can be a nightmare to get out of there. And then I'm going to change the rear main seal, rip the oil pan off. This is an oil pan out of just a half ton, 1500. I think it fits. I'll check again when I put the transmission on here, but I'm going to change the rear main seal, throw a pilot bushing in there, throw the flywheel and clutch on, and then I can probably permanently bolt the transmission to it. I am going to take the oil pan off because I can't remember if I put the oil pickup tube on there, and I also got to weld a bung on it for the turbo oil drain. So let's get that done. You recording? Are you recording? Get closer. Get a good image. Yeah. Okay, back up. Back up. All right, so now if these tack welds hold, hopefully by tightening the bolt into the crank, it'll just press it out. If not, I'll probably cry a little bit, swear a little bit.
And then,
that was loud. That worked like a charm. All right, so I got this fancy new seal to put on for the crank rear main seal. You don't have to take the pan right off, but I'm gonna be doing some welding on it and stuff, so I took it right out. It's pretty easy to install. It comes with this fancy little sleeve that just goes on top of the crank, and then you can just slide it on, so you're not fighting with it. And the torque specs are 133 inch-pounds or 15 newton meters. Yeah, and then you're done. Easy peasy. So I've got the clutch and flywheel all torqued up on the motor. I'm going to go ahead and put the transmission on here, bolt it up. I'm going to change the release bearing. Got a new one of those. And then I'm going to set this thing in the truck and start building mounts. You know, I should probably rebuild that engine, hey?
Yes.
Don't even know the condition of it.
No, it's not in great condition.
Oh, shit. Well, you know, I got just the thing. Yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah, good for another 500,000 K. Look, we run a tight ship here, okay?
Yeah, it was probably loud. All you hear was, "Whoa!"
All right, so I'm gonna weld in my stainless dash 10 oil drain plug here for the turbo oil drain, I guess. I'm gonna TIG weld that on and see if I'm good enough to make it not leak. So, try it. All right, after the first attempt of stuffing this motor in here, looks like I am gonna have to notch out the cross member here. It does hit the oil pan. It's a truck oil pan. Everything's really tight. I could probably, maybe, split the trans and the motor and put the motor in first, then bolt the trans in. But I'm just gonna notch that thing for easy removal and installation. Because I imagine I'll have this truck together and apart a few times. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then try and get these motor mounts. All right, so I just whipped up a couple quick motor mounts for this swap here. These are the stock Durango engine mount brackets, and then just some 1 3/4 DOM tubing with some bushings. So we'll throw those in and see what it looks like. It is sitting on its own mounts. I do have to make a spacer for the back because I couldn't get bushings quite wide enough, but I will make a spacer rather than washers. But it's sitting in there. It worked out pretty good. I have headers that do not fit, so that's great. But everything's where it needs to be. Shifter's kind of long, but she is coming along. I have a lot to do, but hey, it's not a 5.7. That's cool. All right, I'll keep after it. All right, so I did have to take a fair amount out of the cross member to fit the oil pan. A little more than I wanted to, but still welded up and got some paint on her. So now I can put the engine back in permanently and start building a tranny cross member, because originally in my other 91 I was able to use the factory cross member with the NV3500, but for some reason this one makes it sit way too tall, so I don't know if there's a difference from 87 or what the deal is. So I'll get that in there and build the tranny cross member and then start the process of getting it running, hopefully, maybe. rubbing that. Oh, we got a cross member. So for some reason, I had to modify the stock cross member on this one. On my 91, I didn't when I put an NV3500 behind the 318. For some reason, this one is way longer. I don't know. So something must be different from 87. Don't know. Don't care. Modified it. Gonna bolt it up, and then it will be in its home permanently. Update on the Dakota build. May 1st was kind of a crazy deadline, so since I'm waiting for parts, I just decided to go ahead and start installing the turbo. So it's now a 6.1, not a 5.7, so that's gonna be fun. I'm using some BBK hemi truck headers. Really, the passengers or driver side wasn't that bad. I'm gonna have to just build a new primary coming up and over, and then tie it back in. And then I will run the exhaust across the front. I just kind of fabbed up a support bracket for the turbo that also acts as the dash 10 oil drain that I'll feed into the pan. I'll have to clock the exhaust housing to work, and hopefully I can build the passenger side header and have them meet up. I ordered a T4 flange that already has some V-bands welded onto it, so hopefully I can make that work. I'm really hoping I can still get this thing running for May. I don't think it'll be May 1st now, but just waiting for parts. I ordered a Holley terminator for it, so originally I was going to just run it off the factory ECU, and that's why I was going to be running for May 1st, or hopefully. But now, since I'm waiting on that, I still got to figure out what I'm going to do for brakes. I don't know if I'm going to go manual brakes or try and find a smaller booster. What else? This is a 94 rad support, so it bows out, so it gives you a lot more room in the front. The 87 rad support just goes straight across, so it will have the different front end, which I kind of prefer. I like them both, but I think I do kind of prefer that. Got a cheapo steering wheel that I like, and transmission's in. Gotta hook up the gauges and whatnot. Do some wiring. It's actually not that far off, I don't think. I'm actually just really excited to hear it run. I have no idea what this thing's gonna drive like. Might be undrivable, I have no idea. Or it's just gonna suck. But we'll find out. Hopefully in May here, so if you want to see more of this truck, just go ahead and subscribe or like or follow or comment. I'm just going to keep updating on this one. I kind of always jump around from project to project, but I'm going to try and focus on this one as my main goal to get running. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Thanks.